Hello, Kitchen Pals, and welcome back to Miss Abby's Kitchen Class. I hope you're having a good week so far. This week, we're going to make a powerful granola. And before I tell you why this granola is so powerful, I want to ask you, what makes you powerful? What's your special ingredient that makes you special? Are you very funny or especially organized? Are you kind to animals or good at science? Are you thoughtful about including people in your fun or a really fast runner? Are you a dedicated reader or a supportive sibling? Do you help others without being asked or are curious to try new things? I hope you spend some time thinking about what makes you powerful. I think for me, my special power is baking and being nice to dogs. This week, our powerful granola is chock-a-block with nutrients. I make this granola fairly often, and sometimes I just have it in a little bowl as an afternoon snack. Sometimes I also use it as a topping over yogurt, and it's also good in a bowl with a splash of milk to eat kind of like a cereal. It's super versatile and it helps you get some good stuff into your system to help you feel full for longer, some good protein, and a little vitamin C. Now we know a little bit about what makes us powerful and what makes our granola powerful. What do you say we make some? Let's get to the kitchen.
Okay, kitchen pals, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to start by preheating our oven, and then I already have some of our dry ingredients in a bowl here. So our oatmeal, I used some chopped walnuts. I also added a little bit of flaxseed and then a couple teaspoons of cinnamon. I also snuck in about an eighth of a teaspoon each of allspice, cloves, and nutmeg. So that's all what we have in here. If there are other nuts that you like to add besides walnuts, you're welcome to do that. Maybe you like almonds or chopped peanuts, hazelnuts, macadamia nuts, I bet would be good in here too. I also think you could add a little bit of canned pumpkin to this, would make it really good if you wanted to. We would add that canned pumpkin into our wet ingredients, which we're about to take a look at. Speaking of our wet ingredients, we've got a little bit of orange juice and then some brown sugar and honey as well. If you're going to make it with the pumpkin, the canned pumpkin that I suggested earlier, I think in place of the honey, I would add maple syrup instead as a sweetener, because that might make it kind of a nice fall treat if you really like pumpkin flavored or fall flavored things. So we're just going to heat up over a medium heat our liquids and our sweeteners here, just until that brown sugar appears to be melted. So, you can see kind of the grains of your sugar here. We're just going to heat it up for a couple of minutes until it looks like that brown sugar has been melted. And this honestly doesn't take too long, but I think that you can tell that our liquid is a little more clear than what we started with. That brown sugar is definitely melted. So I'm going to turn my heat off. And then I'm going to add a couple teaspoons of canola oil. And we chose canola oil here because there's not a lot of flavor to it. So you wouldn't want to use like an olive oil or something here that kind of has its own flavor to it. But we do just need a little bit of oil. And then we're going to add a teaspoon or a splash, because I never measure this, but a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay. Stir that up a little bit, and then we're going to add this to those dry ingredients that we already measured out. Okay, so we're going to pour those wet ingredients over our dry ingredients here. Make sure I get every last drop out of here. I always hate when you're watching a cooking show and they leave so much in the bowl when they're scraping it out. You want to use as much of that as you possibly can. That's why someone invented these rubber spatulas for us. Okay, so we're stirring up our oatmeal and our flaxseed and our nuts here, along with all those spices that we added. Make sure everything gets coated in those wet ingredients that we just heated up. And then we'll pour this all out onto our baking sheet and get it ready to throw into the oven. Every last bit out of that bowl. So then we just want to spread our granola out over this pan as much as we can. And you remember from last time that I like to use these little mats to line my baking sheets. But if you wanted to just use a piece of parchment paper or just put the granola right onto your baking sheet, that would be fine too, because honestly, this has enough coating in it of the oil that we added and all those wet ingredients that it'll probably come off pretty clean from your baking sheet. But these help us from having to scrub our baking sheets after we're done baking, which is kind of a nice way to keep one thing a little bit cleaner and then easily clean the mat or throw away your parchment paper. So we're going to get ready to toss this into the oven. Okay, Kitchen Pals, my granola is in the oven for 10 minutes. Once that timer goes off, I'm going to take the granola out, shake that pan around and stir the granola up on the pan a little bit more, and then put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to have an empty bowl ready to go because I need to get that granola into the bowl as soon as it comes out of the oven so it can start cooling off. And then we're going to add our craisins to it. And you know what I'm going to do during those 20 minutes while my granola is in the oven, right? Destroy the evidence. It's time for me to clean up my utensils and wash up this pan that I used for the orange juice and the sweeteners and get my kitchen all cleaned up and ready to go for the next time I bake. Ooh, Kitchen Pals, I can't wait till you can smell this granola in your own kitchens. It smells amazing. Okay, I'm going to very carefully spoon my granola into this bowl here. So you can see it's not crunchy exactly. There's still kind of a chewy texture here, which I really like. I think that that's a nice granola texture. I don't want to break my teeth off on some granola. So I get this all into my bowl. Oh, I can smell that honey. This smells amazing. So toasted and golden. You see I've got some granola going overboard here, but I'll clean that up here in a minute. Okay, all my granola is added to this bowl, and now I'm just gonna add my 1/3 of a cup of craisins here. I like that tart kind of sweetness of those dried cranberries. I think they're really good. And it's a nice fall flavor too, because cranberries are such a fall ingredient that we use in a lot of things. Okay, so now comes the hard part, my Kitchen Pals, is that we have to wait for this to cool off before we can eat it. So I'm just gonna leave this with the lid off it sitting on my counter for a little bit and let that cool off until I can add it to a bowl of yogurt and enjoy a little afternoon snack. Okay, Kitchen Pals. So my granola is all cooled off now and I've got it in a little bowl of some Greek yogurt. I'm gonna have a little afternoon snack now. It's so good. I hope you really like this powerful granola and start making it more often at your own house. And I hope you spend some time this week thinking about what makes you powerful. What's your special ingredient? Next week, it's going to be Veterans Day when this video comes out. And so we're going to celebrate our veterans by making something that's red, white, and blue. So something a little patriotic to save those heroes in our lives. So make sure you have on hand some frozen raspberries, some blueberries, and some heavy whipping cream, a little bit of powdered sugar, and a splash of vanilla. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and have a grown-up email me if you have any questions about this recipe. Until next time, enjoy your food, Kitchen Pals.